Good morning. So this reading is for Monday, May 5th. And what I'm going to do is just pull a little bit about our past, our present, and our future energy. So let's start here with the past. Current energy. And future energy. So looking here, bottom of the deck, we have the star. It's Aquarius energy. This is all about your goals, your dreams, anything that you want here as far as just how do you want to live your life? What kind of life do you want to live? There's a healing element to this as well. And so I love when the star shows up in this way because it really is you going after your dreams. When I look at the past energy, I'm getting the Eight of Swords, which is really just overthinking a situation and being up in your head, kind of giving it a lot of your mental energy, really thinking about a situation, figuring out what your next steps need to be, really analyzing it to a lot of detail. I'm getting a Seven of Cups here as well, and it feels a lot like these two bounced back and forth. There were times where you felt very overwhelmed and you weren't sure what to do. And so then you would retreat into your own head and you would start thinking about, okay, well, what do I need to do? What do I need to address first? And kind of tackle it that way. And it felt like it was just continuous, that you weren't really able to make any kind of progress here because of all of this overwhelmed energy coming through with the Seven of Cups. Could have been just a lot of confusion around what it is that you need to prioritize. And this is why you kept going back into your head, really thinking through. I'm getting a sense of losing time when you do that. And so when you go inside your mind and you're really thinking about a situation and you're overthinking it, minutes become hours real quick here. I'm just getting that sense that you just lose a lot of time doing that. Also showing up in the past, High Priestess energy. So the High Priestess is keeping things to yourself. The secret side of the High Priestess is really coming through. So whatever happened here in the past, you were keeping a lot of things to yourself. And it was more that you were trying to figure out what your next steps needed to be. It wasn't really that kind of malicious, intentional, let me just keep everybody away from me kind of energy. It was more of, I need to really figure this out. And the only way I'm going to do it is if I spend the time doing it. And then you would just lose track of time. And so it was something that you knew you needed to figure out on your own. But then you did. Because when I look at the current energy here, right away, Fool card, brand new beginning, cleared karma. Nine of Wands is showing up. So we'll see what comes out when I clarify. But I'm also getting the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands, I'm getting a forward movement with that energy. It is a union card. It's one of the marriage cards within tarot, that Four of Wands. It's a reason to celebrate. And so the Nine of Wands feels like it's this kind of self-protected energy. It's a wounded warrior, but your guard is up. So there's still an element of you're in this new beginning, you want this new beginning, you're ready to explore what the possibilities are because we have the Star card at the bottom of the deck. But there is still something here that is preventing you from really embracing it. And it feels like it's more inside your mind. There's something here that you still need to address. And it shows up here in the future energy. I'm getting at the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, a lot of burdens, a lot of responsibilities. This is closing out the cycle. It's a cycle that's already done. It's about releasing it, letting it go, recognizing that you don't need to carry around everyone else's burdens with you anymore. You just need to focus on what you need to do for yourself. I'm also getting the Devil energy. So Capricorn may or may not resonate, but the Capricorn energy here, the Devil, the way that it's coming across, limitations and restrictions, I'm getting this kind of heavy weight connected to it. And so it feels like in some instance, you're still a little bit bogged down by these kind of heavy burdens and responsibilities that show up in your future energy. But they're actually showing up in the past too, with that Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups. Whatever kind of had you back and forth with, I'm going to take some sort of action, I'm going to retreat into myself. Take some sort of action, I need to think about it again. And so whatever kind of had you back and forth in the past, it looks like there's still like a lingering energy connected to it showing up in the future. But this is something that you're putting distance between you and that kind of situation or those responsibilities, whatever it is, because that cycle is closed. So when I see the Six of Swords showing up the way that it does, it's moving away from the Devil energy and that Ten of Wands energy. It's about really allowing yourself to embrace this new beginning, because that Nine of Wands is right there in the center of this reading. And so it's informing a lot of the decisions that you're making where you're not able to fully open yourself up. So let's get more details here. With the Eight of Swords, I'm getting the Four of Cups. The Eight of Swords, Four of Cups, a lot of sadness, a lot of disappointment. So whatever was weighing on you, whatever this kind of overwhelming energy is, that's actually how the Four of Cups is coming through, where in order to figure it out, you almost had to dissect the energy. You had to really take it one layer at a time, one kind of moment at a time. And what it did here was it resulted in you kind of thinking and again, overthinking a situation and not taking a lot of action here just because you weren't ready to take some sort of action. You were doing this kind of thought planning phase of it. And that's how this is coming across as well. So the Seven of Cups would be that overwhelming energy. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Knight of Pentacles, clarifying it, indicates that you had to figure it out. You had to learn. You had to go through some sort of learning curve, learning process in order to get to the results that you were looking for. And then once you did, you were able to close it out. We've got the High Priestess, clarified by the World card. The World is the completion of a cycle. It's done. It's over. You learned the lessons that you needed to. You came out of it with whatever it was, whatever that skill was that you needed. You got everything out of it. This here, it actually is a closed cycle. And so it's more about what do you need to do going forward to really open yourself up. So let's get the Fool card here. And the Four of Wands. So clarifying that Fool card, I have the Ace of Cups. So this brand new beginning, it really is a brand new beginning. Could be connected to love and romance. Not everybody wants that, but we also have the Four of Wands out here, so I'm just calling that out. But this really is a fresh start, new beginning, something where you're able to explore what you really want. Go after what really is going to fulfill you on an emotional level. It's that Star card showing up here as a new beginning. Clarifying that Nine of Wands is the Justice card. And so I did get legal matters, but we're just going to put that to the side. That's not going to be applicable for a lot of people. That would be a very small subset of people here, but you're a little bit guarded and protected right now. And so you might be waiting for something here to officially close, because that officially close feels like it's connected to this. But the Justice, it's Libra energy. It's all about balance, and it's about finding balance, maintaining balance. And this is where your guard is up. It feels almost as though whatever happened here in the past made your foundation less than stable. And so what's happening now is until you feel grounded and balanced, you're not going to be fully open. It is about kind of moving away from the burdens and the responsibilities and that Devil energy showing up here in the future. Clarifying that Four of Wands, we have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about building something here with another person. And so again, I'm going to go back to, this could be about love and romance, but again, not applicable to everybody here. The Three of Wands is building something here with another person. And when I see that, clarifying the Four of Wands, it's really about building relationships. And maybe it's not this type of relationship. It's not a romantic type of relationship. It could be a business partnership, or maybe even reestablishing or kind of reconnecting partners in some sort of way, taking it to a deeper level with that Ace of Cups. So take it however it resonates for you, but that's clearly building some sort of relationship or partnership here. The Devil. We're going to talk about the image that I just had, so I hope I hold on to it. So with the Ten of Wands here, what I'm getting is the Knight of Wands and the Four of Swords. So the Four of Swords was some sort of break. It was a necessary healing that needed to take place. This would happen at the end of a cycle, that you're healing, recovering, finding a way to really move on from the situation. And that's exactly what you're doing here. You're putting an end to all these additional burdens and responsibilities. You want to move on from it. That Knight of Wands is you taking some sort of action here. Could be an impulsive type of action, because that is the Knight of Wands energy, but really it's about movement forward, not letting yourself get stuck in any kind of way. The Devil is turning into the King of Pentacles. And what I got was like a face morphing. And it was a face morphing from something that was not healthy to actually something that is healthy. The King of Pentacles, male or female, it's just the energy of the card. This is really about stability, long-term stability. And where it becomes the devil energy is when you overstructure something. You don't allow for any kind of flexibility, change in direction because of new information that you're learning. That devil energy becomes very rigid, and it doesn't allow for any kind of real growth to take place because you almost completely box yourself in, and just there's no opening. There's nowhere for it to grow and expand. And so what I'm getting the sense here is that structure to an extent is important. And you're understanding that in order to have the life that you want, you have to do some planning. Everything is just not going to miraculously appear and in the way that you want it to. And so there is some sort of level of planning involved, but it doesn't have to get to the point where it's an overwhelm kind of energy or an inflexible type of energy where it becomes something that's very toxic and unhealthy to you. The morphing of the face was really significant here because you're learning to distinguish the two. We just came out of a cycle that was very, very heavily focused on building and creating structures and building more structures. And then let's kind of close it in a little bit more, and you keep closing it in. And we're coming out of that energy. And what you're recognizing is there are some important lessons to building those structures and laying that right foundation, but it's not going to be the end all be all. There needs to be more to it than just creating structure. Clarifying the Six of Swords here is the Knight of Swords. So we have two knights showing up here as well as the Six of Swords. There's a lot of movement showing up in the future. And so when I see the Six of Swords showing up, especially with that Knight of Swords energy and the Knight of Wands, I mean, you're moving out of this energy pretty fast. You're recognizing how to kind of find and maintain your balance. It feels like structure is part of it here. That kind of solid foundation for yourself is coming across that way, where you need some, but not overstructure your life. So I like how this is coming across because this is really about you moving on from a situation, putting a past, just whatever it was, whatever the circumstance was, really putting it behind you. So this is the reading for Monday. I hope it resonates. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Take care.